Welcome back to Don's Life. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining today. I'm kind of excited and intrigued. We're going to take a closer look at this product here. This is by 70mi. It's the Omni 360 Dash Cam. It has an industry first 360 view and a parking surveillance mode. Let's go. So let's unbox this product. At first glance, it does have a futuristic packaging, nice silver finish. The camera is well wrapped inside, has a very nice feel to it, a nice weight. Actually feels like it's quality. Behind the mascot, My X the Bear, you have all your accessories. First, you're gonna have your dual USB 12-volt charger, so you can plug that into your accessory port and still have another charger available. We have a pry and a tuck tool to conceal your wires. We have two electrostatic stickers for reliable mounting. And we have our user manual and also an extra sticker tucked away in this envelope. We also have an optional hardwire kit that is required if you want to use the parking surveillance mode, since it will be connecting to your car's battery when the vehicle is turned off. Before we use the dash cam, we've got to install it. And since we have a hardwire kit, we're going to do it with a professional result. So the first thing you want to do is figure out where to put your electrostatic sticker, which is gonna go on your window. I've already chose the middle of the window here on this Cadillac Escalade because I wanted the camera lens itself to hang below the mirror. So when it does its rotating, we're not going to be encumbered by the mirror or anything else in this area. We'll get a proper 360 view. So we went ahead and we put one of the two stickers right in the middle here because this is gonna make it much easier when you need to peel this off. But right now we have the plate on there because I've already aligned the camera to fit into the quick release mount. There we go. So you can see the camera just quick connects. Very easy to get on and off. And then it also has the tilt ability so you can make the camera level. As you can see, it mounts very sturdily. That's why you want to use this electrostatic cling, because trying to get this off later will be much easier if we just peel the cling for removal purposes. So you want to plan from the dash cam where your wire is going to go. In this case, we're going to have ours plug in the side here. We're going to use our tuck tool a little later to tuck the wire up all the way in here. And then this pillar right here, you can usually access into the headliner if you pull off this rubber weather stripping right here, which will allow you to bend it back and you can tuck a wire in all the way through. That's what the tuck tool is for, is to be able to get you into these areas if your fingers aren't small enough. Now we brought our wire down this way because this is where my fuse panel is. Your fuse panel may be in a different location, so you might have to go the other way, maybe to the driver's side. We're gonna take our cover off here. There we go. Now I recommend, if you wanna keep your wiring nice and tidy, you can pick up some fuse taps, have a look at the style of fuses that you have, and test which fuses you're going to connect to first before you pick out your fuse taps. Every vehicle is going to be a little bit different. I got the fuse taps I need, but what you want to look out for are some very specific circuits. We only have 3 wires to connect. I went ahead and connected the ground. I know it's good because I have a power source here and it's grounded there. That's why this light comes on. This is the easiest way to test for a live circuit or a circuit that's not turned on. Now we're going to need a live circuit for this here, and we're going to want to make sure that we have the right amount of amps. This doesn't use a lot of amps, but I've already identified one in here that we're going to connect to, and then I've identified a fuse over here that is an accessory that when I turn the vehicle on, then this light comes on, so I know it's switched when the vehicle is turned on and off. So I'm going to quickly connect these. Every vehicle is going to be a little different. That's why we're not telling you it's number 5 or number 6 or anything like that. I'm just showing you red, constant power, accessory switched with your ignition. We've got this connected now. We're going to tuck our wires in. Well, it's all installed nice. All the wires are tucked up out of the way. This is the tuck tool that they give you. You might want to get something a little bigger like this. It was much easier to pry the headliner down and then tuck in the wire that way. So maybe invest in a cheap set of pry tools. But otherwise, we got it connected. Now we're going to turn the vehicle on and see if the camera turns on like it's supposed to. I got my key with me. I'm just gonna hit the ignition button here. We're just gonna close the door, but I see the camera starting to turn on. There's our My X, and everything is ready to go. Now that it's installed properly, it's all set up ready to use. Let's talk about some of the features so as you see them in action, you know what's going on. So here's how the 360-degree no blind spot works. So we have this turret here that runs on some motors. When you put this in your vehicle, it could actually be mounted this way or this way. Once you turn it on, it'll figure out which way the orientation is, and then this will be right side up depending on what you're doing. Now on the bottom here, we have a nice sounding speaker. It outputs some good sound. I like this here because we have the ability to adjust the angle because not all windshields are gonna be sloped the same. Of course, we have our USB-C input here. We have our screen, which is where you get to see My X all the time, telling you what's going on. This will also show you in real time what you're recording, and it'll have some indicators on it, whether you're in parking surveillance mode, whether it has a Wi-Fi signal, GPS signal, and so on. We have some basic buttons on the side. We have a power button, the ability to enter the menu, and also change your settings. The large f1.5 aperture, along with the new PureCell Plus SHDR technology, the Omni delivers best in-class low light performance and reduces noise for better image display, capturing clear details in low light circumstances. It also provides excellent color performance under ultra high contrast conditions, such as exiting tunnels. The larger aperture gives it superb night vision, and you'll also get 140-degree field of view. So earlier I mentioned that we have parking surveillance. So with smart parking surveillance, with the AI power detection that this device uses, it can do motion detection. The Omni can accurately detect a person with suspicious behavior when you're parked, record the footage, and activate a warning light. It also has collision detection. There's algorithms in place where it can detect an impact and swivel the camera to that location and record what is going on to get you that footage. Okay, let's have a closer look at the app. So when you download the app, you're going to be greeted with this screen right here. This is actually quite easy to connect to. It's going to create a hotspot off of the camera itself, and we're going to join it. Now we're connecting to the camera. I'm just parked in my garage here. We can go to live view right now. So here we are in live view. I can move the camera left and right with these controls. Here I can look at all the photos that I've taken, all the videos that have been taken, and they put them in a catalog here. So I can see a timeline. This is actually really nice because you can go through and find the footage that you're wanting to find. So here's a bunch of footage I've compiled over the days of testing the camera. I can also go to the categories here, and I can look at all my videos, events, parking events, time-lapse photography, had I taken some, the vlog feature, which I'll show you in a bit, and then photos, because you can take selfies, which I'm going to show you that as well. So let's go back to our settings, because there's quite a few things you can configure in this camera. So we're going to leave here, and we're going to go to device settings. So as you can see, we have our video encoding. We can do high compression or low compression. There's more compatibility with some phones for low compression. We have our resolution here. We have it at 60 frames per second right now. The other option is 30 frames. We can choose our video clips to be 1, 2, or 3 minutes long. We can also choose HDR, but HDR only works with 30 frames per second. That's why it's not letting me change it right now. We can have overlays for our speed, longitude, and latitude watermarks on the video when it records it. We can have the 70mi logo embedded on the recording as well. Resistance to blink really just means the frame rate that's used in your country, or I should say the refresh rate. So we have 60 Hertz NTSC, which is commonly like North America. And then you also have settings for other countries. We have right here, we can have the default position when the camera is turned on, which way it's going to be facing. I think most people want it centered when it turns on, but you could have it turn on to a different orientation if you like. We also have parking surveillance mode. Let's say I'm parking in a parking garage and I want it to always be pointing a little bit out the driver's side. When it goes into parking surveillance mode, it'll be pointed that way if you think that's where the most traffic would be with people walking by or suspects that might be looking to break into your vehicle. Then we have our collision detection, which I have it on high sensitivity right now, but you can certainly change that. These are all the things you need your hardwire connection in place to be able to do. We have motion detection here, I have it enabled. Surveillance light effect, so we can actually have this ring turn red when somebody is coming close to the vehicle or there's an event. This will turn red and deter people, letting them know they're being recorded. And then we have time-lapse photography, which I have off right now, which is another feature. While you're driving, you have the ability to set it to notice if there's an impact or maybe you hit a really large pothole, something that would be abnormal. It will actually trigger an emergency recording so you can review it later. And it actually records 2 seconds before as a bit of a buffer so you don't miss anything. This also has ADAS, which is a driver safety aid. If you can get it to calibrate, which I wasn't able to due to the snow on my roads, it's blurring the lanes right now, but it'll give you lane departure warning, let you know if you're going to hit the vehicle in front of you, and if there's pedestrians that you're at risk of hitting as well. We have voice control enabled, and we can do all of these commands right here. So I'll give you a demonstration in a little bit. We have our basic settings here. So our language settings, sounds on and off, speaker volume, key tones, record sound, that would be recording the audio when you're recording video as well. And then a lot of other basic settings here that you're probably used to seeing on most dash cams. So you can read along or pause the video there if you want a closer look. Okay, hopefully you can hear me okay. We are going to demonstrate some of the voice commands for the Omni 360. So first off, shoot left. So now it's recording out the left. Shoot right. Now it's recording out the right. Take photo. Take selfie. Shoot vlog. Now it's just panning around.
Get ready to say hi to the camera.
Hello camera, this is a test of the vlog feature to see if it works or not. It's just a short little clip, but that's the take a vlog. Shoot inside. So now it's recording inside. When it shoots inside, it does 10 seconds and then it stops recording and returns to front facing. Well, there you go. That's just some of the voice commands that you can do with this camera. And we're also going to try the time-lapse recording. So we'll see how that works. So we do have HDR, which works at 30 frames per second. This is a 1080p camera. If you want to use 1080p at 60 frames per second, HDR needs to be turned off, but that will give you more frames per second if you're looking at getting more detail from an incident that you're recording. Next, I'm going to play a little bit of footage for you, both in 1080p at 30 frames per second with HDR on, both day and night. And we're also going to play some 1080p at 60 frames per second with HDR turned off. Well, this concludes my review of the 70mm dash cam Omni 360 with parking surveillance. What I like is it just brings something different to the industry. With the 360 rotating turret to record the action, I think is pretty neat. Here's some of my final thoughts. I felt that it mounted and installed quite nicely. I feel the app is solid, connecting to the app, no problem. Some apps, sometimes you use them, they have trouble connecting. That was not my experience with this camera. I felt that picture quality was great, whether you use the HDR or you don't use the HDR. The main thing is it does use a high bit rate, so you're getting a lot of information with each frame of video, and that's why it looks so good. So you might be wondering about file size. So 1 minute of video is about 180 megabytes. This comes in 3 sizes. You can't expand the memory. You've either got to go with the 32 gigabyte, 64 gigabyte, or 128 gigabyte. If you wonder why they've integrated the memory, it's more stable. A lot of times micro SD cards or SD cards, they can be corrupted and then you have to replace them. This is more stable and more reliable. Because of that, one of the downsides is getting the footage off of the camera. You have to do it through the app, and that means transmitting the file over the Wi-Fi hotspot to your device to then put it on your computer or share it, email it, whatever you're going to do. That can take a little bit longer. If you're choosing to share some of your footage through social media, you can actually put a fun little overlay on top of your footage that makes it look a lot more exciting. The one that I'm testing is actually a pre-release version. It could appear or function differently than what you've seen in this video. So I will leave a link in the video description below where you can find all that information. So that concludes my review of the 70mm dash cam Omni 360 with parking surveillance. If you like today's video, hit that like button. Please consider subscribing. We'll talk to you next time.